So often this season your team have been brilliant, but was it a bit different tonight? Was tonight about finding another way to get over the line?
Today was about being very patient. Obviously, the game that they proposed made it difficult. There were no spaces to attack, or very little spaces to attack, and it's very easy to get a little bit impatient and get frustrated. And we wanted to get away from that game because they were waiting for that mistake to catch us on the break. And I think we started to do it better at the end of the first half. We started really well the second half, and we created enough chances to win the game.
Just speaking to a couple of your players, was the message at half-time, move it quicker?
Yeah, the speed, the purpose, the courage to take more initiative in certain areas and as well to occupy certain spaces much better than the boys did it, and we won the game.
What happened to Granit so early in the match?
Yeah, he wasn't feeling good. He was sick and he could not carry on. And unfortunately, we have another 4 players with the same symptoms, so I don't know what exactly happened.
Oh, so do you think that played a part in the first half, being a bit sluggish? Obviously, if you're ill,
there were a few players that are not feeling great. Obviously, we could not make 3 or 4 substitutions at that period. But the good thing is that under any context, with difficulty away from home, every 3 days, you still come here and manage to play well and win the game.
Jack will be okay for the World Cup, will he?
I think so, yeah.
How much of a mental challenge as well was it tonight? You got, obviously, Man City early in the day, guys like me asking you questions about that, World Cup as well. So it felt like a game where there were lots of potential distractions.
There were, and the whole week, it's been a lot of talk about each individual and collectively and the World Cup and what is going to happen, and a few injuries as well that have prevented certain players to go to the World Cup. So mentally, I think it was a tricky one. We played 2.5 days ago as well, a night game. We have to come away from home again, but that's the mentality that you have to have if you want to be at the top.
Gabriel Jesus tonight still waiting for that goal, but involved in everything. There was one bit in the first half where he chased Adama Traore back. He's involved in the first goal.
We are feeling it for him because his contribution to the team is just incredibly valuable, and he deserves more goals, but still, with him, that's where we are.
Does he know that? He's sort of happy with the other stuff he's doing?
Every day, I think the love and respect and admiration he has for the rest of his players and the staff, it's huge, and hopefully he feels that.
Obviously, it was Martin Odegaard who got the goals. Is he getting better and better with that, not just sort of loading the bullets for the other guys, but delivering them himself?
And that's being more ruthless in front of goal and having that edge to win football matches in a different way, and we're getting there with him.
Title winners do what you've done tonight, don't they, Mikel? Find another way to win?
What we do is focus on being a better team every single day, and that's been the focus every training session. A lot of things that we still have huge margin to improve as a team, and if we are able to do that, we'll be better every day, and if we play better, more chances to win.
So 5 points clear at Christmas. Obviously, you're not going to get roped into that, but fans should enjoy it, shouldn't they? Arsenal fans, lots of tough times in recent years.
It's been a long, long time since we were in this position, so they fully deserve it, not because what they have done today or a month ago, for the full transformation of the club that they have created with their energy, with their passion, with their involvement, and what they are able to transmit to those players.
From the club you walked into, maybe even the one you played for, what's been the key to the transformation? That, I know we're away today, but the atmosphere you have at the Emirates,
the unity from the top of the club to every single member of the team, of the staff, and our people. At the end, they are the soul of this football club, and you could feel that they are right with us, and that unites everybody.
After the World Cup, what is going to be the key to picking up where you've left off?
Keep winning. And in order to do that, we have to ask ourselves a lot of questions. What we're going to do, which is individual, what we're going to do with the players that they are here, with the players that they come back. So we have a big challenge ahead of us because it's something that we never done before, so we need to try.
So are you still working on that, what you're going to do, and different guys go out the World Cup at different stages?
We have a plan, and everybody has his own thing, but after you have to see in what state they come back, where we are, assess that, and get everybody in the right frame to start again.
And if you do get that right, massive chance to be champions.
If you do that right, then we'll be in a good position to beat West Ham.
I tried.
Thank you.
Well done.
He gives very little away, doesn't he, Mikel Arteta? But the one thing you've got to give him, and he comes across in this kind of manner in his post-match interviews, is the confidence. He's kind of very assured as to where he's going, what he's about, and the process that he always seemed to talk about, Owen. Do you think, in many respects, it's exceeded his own expectations?
Oh, definitely. I think, obviously, you have a plan and you hope for the best, but you also plan for the worst. I think the plan has gone significantly better than I think he could have ever imagined. Obviously, it helps that Liverpool are struggling. You know, Chelsea are struggling. City haven't been the perfect City we've seen. But I think you've got to credit Arsenal. They've been the best team in the league so far over this space, 14, 15 games. And now they're in a position, a bit like Leicester. You know, Leicester didn't believe they could go and win the league at Christmas. But all of a sudden, then you get into March and you think, we're there. We're right there. And I think with Arsenal now, they all believe, look, we put ourselves in a position through our hard work. And credit Mikel Arteta, I think he's done an exceptional job. Get rid of a lot of characters they didn't fit into the philosophy. It's one of the youngest teams in the whole Premier League, and they're already showing that they're ready to compete for a trophy, and that is credit to Mikel and Arsenal.
Yeah, he has dealt with it with a firm fist as well in some points, right?
Yeah, I mean, look at what he did with Aubameyang, for instance. You know, everyone thought, whoa, that's a strange move, but they've been fantastic since. Whether that's the reason, who knows? But what I like about him is he was under pressure. He's been under pressure as well at times, you know, but he's always kept that even keel. Whether he's won football matches or lost in some way, he's kept that even keel. That's rubbed off on the players. You know, he's a realist as well. He knows, like, you know, they're in a great position, but he's not going to get carried away. He won't allow these youngsters to get carried away. What he will instill in them is belief, belief, belief. Let everyone else think about, oh, can they win the title? You know, let them debate it. We inside the house believe, yeah, let's get on to the next game, West Ham, when it comes back round again. But it's about this inner belief within that group of players that we can do our very, very best every week in and week out. If that takes us again, you know, around about April, we're still in contention, then you start gazing your eyes about that trophy. But, you know, there's other teams that have got more experience than Arsenal. They will have a little dip, and it's how they cope with that dip when they have a loss and a couple of draws maybe, which will happen. They won't just have it plain sailing. So that's the key. When that happens, how they respond.
Consistency is key, and you can tell that from 12 wins from 14 games. They've only dropped points in 2 games. But consistency of selection. Owen, if you have a look at that, 11 pre-game changes this season made by Arteta. Compare that to maybe Graham Potter's Chelsea, 52. I mean, that's quite something, is it not?
Yeah, but I think if you look...
I mean, look, I get it. They're at different points of where they are in their projects, but, I mean, he is by far well ahead of, say, Manchester City, with Pep. Well, you've got Newcastle who made 20 as well.
But if you think about the way, you know, Tuchel and Graham Potter, they like to rotate systems of formation. Mikel, I think this Arsenal team had weaknesses before. You know, always in a few positions. I think now he's addressed those weaknesses. The starting 11 is very solid. And now that he's found something, don't change it. And I like that.
That's a bit of a conundrum with Chelsea and there, because I saw up there that Brighton was 7. Brighton was 7 changes, and Graham Potter was a part of that this season. It's a conundrum, that, isn't it? 52 for Chelsea.
Obviously, he's gone into Chelsea. I think 40 of those 52 have come from Graham Potter. Because he's still trying to find his way at Stamford Bridge.
Exactly, and I think he's found his way at Brighton. And that's why there wasn't as many changes. So he's still working that out, very much so. 52 for me is too many, don't get me wrong. But it's quite ironic. I just had to have a smile and say Brighton have only had 7 changes lately.
Where he left?
Yeah, from you know, and he's a part of that decision-making.
Let's hear from the opposing dressing room, shall we, to Arsenal, to the home dressing room, to be precise. Let's hear from the Wolves' interim head coach after yet another defeat. Here's Steve Davis.
Steve, is that a game that feels like it might have gone another way?
Yeah, I think there was good moments in the game that we had, first and second half. They had a lot of possession, obviously first half. I thought we slowed them down really well. Shape was fantastic, hard to get through and over and round. I thought we defended the box when we had to. So we were happy at 0-0. And then, obviously, there was a decision first half which should have gone for us. I thought
You're talking about a penalty?
Yeah. Listen, he's onside, clearly. And because I've seen it. And
did you know that at the time? Has it taken a little bit of a while to know that?
We thought it was a penalty. We didn't know whether it was offside because he put his flag up. So we only knew that after. But yeah, you can see it was a foul, and he was the last man. So it could have been a goal or a red card or a goal scoring opportunity because it would have been a penalty. So we feel hard done to because those moments are really important for us at the moment.
And with your game plan, the way you set up tonight, is first goal even more important than usual? So if you get it with that penalty,
of course, then you've got something to defend. They've got to break you down, and it changes the mentality even more. So you're defending a goal that you he should have had and not been given. So he was disappointed. I mean, VAR, I'm not sure whether they use VAR or not, but there's no point if they don't use VAR in having VAR. So they've got to decide whether they want VAR, and if they do, then they need to use it.
Tell us about that game plan tonight. I asked you before the match if it was 3 at the back, 5 at the back. It was. Why did you use it? And it seemed to work.
Yeah, we've looked at 5 in previous games and not gone to 5. Totti's been injured, so we felt we didn't have the balance to play it. But tonight we felt with the way they set up to attack, with the 2-3-5 or 3-2-5, that it was the best option to soak the pressure and try and counter. So that was the game plan, and I thought we executed it very well. Just couldn't quite get the goal in the boxes. And I think in the end, as I say, second half we were disappointed with the goals we did concede. But up to that point, I thought we were fantastic.
So he feels shortchanged about an official's decision. So let's have a look then. He feels that Wolves should have had a penalty. Now this is an interesting kind of build-up to that incident, because from that pass there, the linesman had raised his flag for offside. Therefore, everything that happened thereafter was almost declared null and void, if you wish. So VAR looked at that.
That's onside.
It's a very tight call. Almost too tight, perhaps.
That for me,
He's adamant that they were onside, and therefore what happened here should actually count.
Yeah, I don't think it was offside, but for me, that's a 50-50, complete 50-50.
Yeah.
Because he's knocked the ball away from me. He's never going to get to that ball anyway. And there is contact made. Now, who's made the contact? For me, there's one referee could say, yeah, it's a penalty. Another referee say, no, not for me. There's contact being made, but he's put the ball the other side of the defender. Hasn't put it towards the goal. So if his first touch is putting it into goal, I can understand that. He's actually put the ball back across, and there is contact. But I don't know. I just think that sometimes we've got to go with the on-field decision at the end of the day. I don't think if it had been given a penalty, I don't think VAR would have turned it round. It's that sort of 50-50 call to me. Yeah.
I think Guedes knows he kind of initiates the contact with Saliba. There's another angle of it where it looks like, from that one that we just saw there, it looks like a penalty. But I'm with Glenn. The referees decided if they come together at the same time, you're allowed to go and play the ball. Obviously, I think Guedes wins and Saliba doesn't get the ball.
Yeah.
But Guedes he initiates the contact with Saliba. So I think it's one of those. Glenn's right. If it was given on the pitch, they wouldn't have overturned it. And they stick with the decision that the referee makes.
That aside, Wolves go into the 6-week break now bottom of the table. Julian Lopetegui will come in, get to know the players, no doubt. Can he turn this ship around?
Well, that's why he's been brought in, of course. They took their time, didn't they, bringing him in? But now he's got a hell of a task on his mind. I think he's got to look to see whether... I think they need a bit of clarity. Are they going to be going in with a back 4? Is he going to go in with this back 5 that they seem to, again, defend deep? Steve Davis said they had a fantastic performance. I'm not with him on that, I'm afraid. But they were so deep and they're looking to break. Or are they going to say, well, we're going to be a little bit more... a little bit more positive on the front foot, play a little bit more expansive. They've got good players there. I think they've got to work on a system that's going to work for them, and that's got to get across to the players very quickly. He's not going to have all them players there, right the way through this 6-week period or 5-week period. So there's so much work. It's a little bit frustrating for him, actually, going in, but not going to be able to have them players together for that length of time.
The best team won. The better team won, and we struggled a lot for the long balls. They didn't have sequence of passes. It was direct right to the keeper, to the striker, and what that's happened, if they lose the ball, always they are behind the ball, and the problem, we didn't win one ball in that position. So when Tony flipped the ball, always had the problems behind, we had the problems in front for the second, and that's why we could not have our rhythm.
Well, who saw that coming? Incredible performance as far as Brentford are concerned. That, incidentally, was their first win in Manchester since 1937. And they end City's home winning record of 16 straight wins to pick up their first away win of the season.
It was a terrific performance, I've got to say. They knew they were going to have to suffer and defend, but they went there with a game plan to break on them as well, and break on City. I've never seen City put so many crosses in today. They put the ball in from wide positions and crossed the ball on so many occasions, which normally they're very patient and they're looking to probe, and it suited Brentford right down to the ground. But they were good in the way that they broke, and they had pace and they broke quickly, and they didn't hang about with the ball. They wanted to get the ball forward quickly and then get runners off the ball, and it worked a treat for them. It was a brilliant performance.
Did Ivan Toney have a point to prove, Owen?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's hard. Obviously, you could argue he deserves to be there. Other players have been left out. Tammy Abraham, another one. But that's what you want, you know. Don't say anything. Let your performance on the pitch do the talking. And to go to the champions and to score 2, I mean, that's exactly what you dream of. I'm sure you wouldn't make a point. Let's be honest. Like this, with long balls, playing direct, he's one of the best in the league. And nobody's going to really want to deal with him. I don't think even City could live with him. You know, I'm sure he'll be absolutely delighted with the fact that he's able to go there, and even against such a celebration, you know, that he's a threat. When he's on form, he's a huge threat. This one I love, really. I mean, the break, and that's what Glenn mentioned about that. But look at everybody's trying to run forward. City, you know, the chase of the game. There's only really 2 players back, but with all these players, the way they played Brentford, they were terrific.
I think what impressed me is we've seen teams break quickly with an individual, but what they were prepared to do is, if we break one people, let's get 2 or 3 up with them. And this is a classic. This is what's happened. And he's onside, he's behind the ball, and he finishes with the bomb. And he could have had his hat-trick as well, let's be fair. He had a great chance at the end.
Yeah.
But it was about being bold enough to get up and pitch quickly and then get support.
Yeah.
They did it to a team.
So what happened to Manchester City, Owen? I mean, some might say, is it the World Cup factor here at play? What was it?
They weren't at their best, you know, and I think Pep said after the game, Brentford won. The better team won. They played better. Pep always talks about the rhythm of the passing. They didn't have it, and I credit Brentford. You know, they defended really well. They were compact, took away that rhythm of City's passing, and I think they just looked a little bit frustrated for whatever reason. They couldn't break through, and obviously with Brentford posing the attack, the threat going the other way. Look, it's not often they play poorly, Man City, and they just didn't have it today.
So with Manchester City losing, it meant that Arsenal had the chance to go 5 points clear at the top of the table should they win away to struggling Wolves. Your commentators for this one, Andy Townsend and John Champion.